The ability to dream is a blessing. The fact that you have an opportunity to get it right is another blessing. The fact you're beautiful, that's another blessing. The fact that you have any measure of health, that's another blessing. And I'm just talking to you, I don't even know you. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you. I'm in the only profession there is no school for. You can't go to school for comedy. There's nothing available for comedy. You're either born this way or you're not. But you can go take lessons, and then you just got to get around the scene out here. It's hard. It take a lot. Young people, you just got to understand. It take a long time to make a lot of money. Quit thinking you finna just hit it. That's not how this works. It take a long time to make a lot of money. It took me a long time, man. But there's joy in the process too. See, you got to enjoy the process. You got to be grateful when you're making 50,000. Then you got to be grateful when you get to 75,000. You got to be grateful at 80,000. A lot of people stay pissed off because they ain't a millionaire. But I got news for you. If you pissed off where you are right now, you'll never be a millionaire. You want me to tell you why? Because there is a principle of success that God requires our gratitude. The more you're grateful for, the more God will give you to be grateful for. God, he real smart. He got this system set up real smart. You can immediately increase your life by being grateful. Instead of complaining about what's going on. Man, I got to go to work today. Man, I got these kids. See, you asked for all this. Remember when you wanted a job? Remember when you wanted a baby? Remember when you wanted to get the new car? Well, the new car comes with some bills. Well, remember when you wanted to get you a bigger place? You got the bigger place. It costs more money. You know what I learned? You can't cry about what's on your plate when your whole goal was to eat. And the moment you start showing God more gratitude, he'll give you more stuff because he's such a fair God. What he do is he's not going to keep giving you stuff if what you got you can't handle already. So he ain't going to put no more on you than you can bear. So while you tripping about all you got to do, he said, well, let me quit giving him stuff to do because he already can't handle this here. You kill more blessings by not being grateful. That's the number one blessing blocker, lack of gratitude. That's the number one reason I have what I have, and that's the number one reason why I'm going to get more. Because I just stay grateful for what I have. And I'm busy, man. But last year I was complaining a lot, and I couldn't understand why these few deals wasn't closing. I was on vacation this year. I was sitting on the boat. I was looking out over the water. And God he just showed it to me. He said, well, Steve, you've been complaining a lot about your workload, about how much you got. I can't give you no more because I don't want to tax you. I don't want to overburden you. I came back, told my wife that. We finished up the vacation. I came back. I changed everything. I wake up every morning with nothing but gratitude, and I became more efficient. And I'm telling you right now, 2 of them deals, I signed one yesterday. The cool thing about it is, it don't take God a long time to bless you. He starts immediately, man. Listen to me, y'all. Wake up every day and start being grateful. Wake up every day. Don't check your phone first. Don't check your texts and messages. Wake up every morning and just start thanking him for just your life, your kids, your job, your house, your food, your clothes, your money, your car, your husband. And then immediately after that, you'll have a better day. And then watch, he start giving you more stuff. It's really not a magic trick to getting rich, man. You just have to learn the principles of success.
What's up? As y'all know, it's Tuesday. And I've been waiting. I promise y'all I've been waiting on today. I've been thinking about it all day. I've been thinking about it for the last 2-3 days. And excuse my language for my parents and the older people. But just to be honest, I don't give a damn how a lot of y'all about to feel about what's going to be said today, because it's the honest truth. And I know it's the truth because what I'm talking about was one of my dreams growing up, and something that I took pride in, and something that I still take pride in, and something that I give my all in every time I get the opportunity to. And the title is Coaches and Their Impact, which we can relate this to pastors, ministers, bosses, principals, GMs, uh, some type of league. But I'm specifically going into coaches because I've been talking to a lot of players, a lot of athletes. I have been those players and those athletes, and I coach players and coach these athletes. Now, this finna get real deep, and I'm finna tell y'all about some scenarios that I've been in, that I've seen from other people, that I experienced. Coaches and their impacts. So you have coaches that dreamed and always wanted to be a coach, who give they all and try to give everybody a fair chance, and really goes after gives they all and who go hard. Then you have coaches who always wanted to be a coach, who came up behind some of the most selfish, unprofessional coaches, who take after those coaches and try to use those critiques in their style and never become successful. And no matter how close they get to becoming successful, they will never be successful. Then you have coaches who just got put in the situation, who really didn't care or wanted to be a coach, who doing it but don't know how to accept constructive criticism with the situation and things they have. Then you have coaches who take their title and their authority over and beyond. And then you have coaches who think they always supposed to have a good team or a great team or good players, and think they never gonna have to go from route one and put their work in. And then you have the other coaches who take winning and losing to the extreme of not being real leaders. Like, as a coach, of course, don't nobody want to lose, but some of y'all take losing or be so scared to lose that you don't understand in life you had to lose before you could win. So now you teaching your players or whatever that losing is how you become a winner. That means they got to train hard and work hard. But it take you as a coach to train them and work them hard. A lot of coaches don't even be wanting to get players that they got to develop nowadays. Everybody want the best players, the good players that come with the stuff. Don't nobody want to put that extra work in, which half of y'all coaches play sports, and a lot of y'all weren't even good. A lot of y'all had to get taught or had a coach that had to put the work in and invest in you. But these are the type of coaches we have in the world. And I can say I done came across a different style of coaches throughout all my careers. Yes, every coach has a flaw. And yes, every coach good at something. Yes, some coaches win more than others. And yes, some coaches affect players more than others. But I'm going to start off with the coaches that don't know how to put the work in to develop other players. Because there's something I see a lot of. Like, I be asking kids why you didn't make the team. Oh, he already had his team. He said I need to go work on something. We'll come back next year. Then you go look at the team and you ask that for the team. They transferred in to play here and there, and they just want this type of player. But these players ain't even loyal to you, because behind your back they going to do other stuff and talk behind your back, where this player you could have put that work in will always be loyal and down to earth to you. Like, for instance, my high school coach, I was trash. Man, instead of him kicking me off, he seen that I went hard, I tried, and every time I developed, I did something more, that he invested and put the work in me. And I ended up being one of the best players on my team my senior year. And to be honest, since 2012, ain't no basketball player from Fairleigh outdone or done what I done yet. And that was because he didn't cut me out because I wasn't good enough. He didn't kick me out the gym. Even when I wasn't good enough, he let me stay in there and stand on the sideline and pay attention and work and push. And the only thing that I remember him saying was, when I stopped saying something to you, that's when you should be weary. But he never said, don't come back to practice or you can't play no more. Because a lot of times when y'all be taking certain sports and certain things away from these students and kids, that's how they end up out here in the streets doing the wrong thing. Because you as a coach then put the effort and audacity and some type of stuff in them to keep them from out there in the streets or making the wrong decision. Y'all be ready to kick them ones that ain't so good, your favorite, or the ones you don't believe in out. And then you be looking stupid when they do the wrong thing. Or you be looking stupid when they become something greater than you and now they your boss. And you scared because you know how you treated them back then. But you have so much faith in some of these other players where y'all giving them the leeway because y'all think they have the most potential, but them the ones you should be hard on. They're the ones you should be jumping on their neck because y'all be giving them so much leeway that they expect it from the world because they feel like they better than everyone else. But when you get to a certain level and in your career, you hit that wall and you don't know how to take it. That's why a lot of players that was good in high school and some that was good in college stop playing because they get to that point where everybody is now at the same level as them and they can't get no more favoritism. So as a coach, I will always take somebody that work hard or that's a little less skilled, that's trying, than someone that's more skilled and got a big head. I'm not saying they can help you win, you can't break them in, but as a coach, you got to be more hard on your better players than your slow players. Because as the slow players or the mediocre players see you being hard on the star, they ain't got no choice but to jump in line and do as much as what's not because they see you hold everybody equal. But as long as y'all keep coaches keep letting y'all star players get away with stuff or the people y'all got faith in get away with stuff, and then y'all try to take y'all anger out and force on the role players or other players, then y'all gonna be just like this, losing. You could get to the championship and you will lose. You get close because at the end of the day, you ain't treating everybody weekend. You ain't holding your star player more accountable than everybody else. Then we have then we have another situation where coaches, like I said, coaches that wanted to be a coach but didn't want to be a coach, who didn't come up behind coaches. Bro, it's just like the sport that you play and the sport that you coach, you can't just take it for granted and keep on thinking that you can't progress. You have to get on YouTube, read books, or find other stuff to keep developing yourself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a head coach, but I for sure make sure I get on YouTube and watch what other coaches that talked about or did to win. Like I mentioned the word Ubuntu, and Doc Rivers used that word for the Celtics, and that's what they used to win the championship. I never knew that till the other day because I have to keep making sure that I'm stronger. So when I do want to become a head coach, I have built enough up to pick pieces and places on how to do certain things in that. And I keep so many plays in my head that depends on which team and style I could use or which defense I could use with what type of style of team or defense I have. But y'all coaches, when we talking about impacting lives, now it's going to get down to the point where how can you impact a child's life if you don't push them to their best potential? And I ain't talking about just yelling, because yelling ain't going to get it. I ain't talking about just if you see them giving up, you just kicking them out, because that ain't going to get it. Coaching is just like teaching. Some students in your classroom hands-on learners, some on visual learners, some on listening learners. It's just like on basketball, baseball, football. Everybody not gonna be a yelling at learner. Some of them you might have to build a bond with. Some of them you might have to talk to normal. Some of them you might have to relate to where they coming from. And a lot of coaches don't relate to a lot of stuff that some of these kids or some of the players coming from nowadays. But y'all gotta meet y'all players and know which type of player it is. One thing I can say about the coach that I'm with now, so I was fussing at one young lady, and he said she's not the ideal young lady. Oh, you can't fuss her like you fuss at them because she already put too much pressure on herself. And the fact of him saying that, it showed me a lot about what another coach or somebody else had put into him to teach him certain things for him to remember that I had heard before. And that shows growth because a lot of coaches be like, if I do it to them, I'm gonna do it to you. Where it's okay when you talk about making them run, you're gonna make them run with punishing. But sometimes you can't talk to push somebody to their full potential like you do this and that. Now don't get me wrong, that ain't got nothing to do with holding the star player accountable like you do the role players. But I'm talking about when you talking to them, you still hold everybody accountable and hold your star player more accountable. But when we talking about talking and trying to push them to their full potential, it's ways to do that. And if you see certain ways ain't doing it, then you have to change up. And a lot of times you kicking players off, like out off the team, out the gym, where they ain't on the team no more. That's not helping you or that child that God put in your life. I can understand when you say, "Oh, you just not gonna dress, but you go keep practicing." You could be teaching that child something to know they will never get all they need to get because they not putting in the work. But you kicking them out, showing that you giving up on them just like the real world gave up on us. Or you giving up on them just like society already giving up on us. And I don't fool with it. For the simple fact, not only have I seen it or I've experienced it or I've seen certain coaches do it, that's just not right. And I'm gonna go into me. In college, I would run through a brick wall to put on a jersey. I was running 10-degree weather to dress out. And I still got stabbed in the back. I still got benched. I still got my stuff taken. Like, no matter what I did, I could have been going all out. And because me going all out or trying to go at the stars to make sure that we able to win or to be appreciated for all the hard work and me loving the game or me trying, I just got always done wrong. Where the fact that it was to the point where I was so much mentally strong that I overcame all that and went further than everybody on my college team. But the fact of the matter is, everybody not mentally strong. If I wouldn't have started hooping a little late, I would have started a little early. I feel like I would have been stopped. Like, well, I'm still trying. And I could have held my coach accountable because he didn't hold everybody accountable for why I gave up. But that's wasn't me. I just use it as a motive. But every child don't look at things the way that I did. And I know that for a fact. I done talked to a couple. When you going through so much or you ain't had certain people to teach you, then you wouldn't look at it like that. If I wouldn't have my high school coach to tell me about how certain other guys that went pro worked hard or how they had to face certain stuff, I would have gave up. I wouldn't even had that motive to think of it like that. Well, other young ladies and kids and players around here might not have that foundation to know that. So when y'all treating them wrong or y'all doing them dirty or y'all don't feel like y'all is, then y'all need to look into y'all self as coaches because a lot of stuff that y'all do is not right. And y'all accept these jobs and think it's all about winning basketball games. Well, it's about changing these two students' lives. It's about making sure they get an education. It's about making sure they become better men and women. It's about making sure they're able to get a job. And then it's about asking them if they want to become a pro or a college athlete and to help them achieve it, not downgrade them. Don't get me wrong. It's only 15% of people going to college out of high school. And it's only 5% going like pro to the league or maybe overseas out of college. But don't say one out of your 15 cannot achieve their goal because I was 3 out of that 15 in high school. Now I was probably 1 out of that 15 in college. And if you ask anybody on the damn team, excuse my language, they wouldn't have said me. But that did not stop me. My high school coach gave me the confidence to know that I could go to college and make it pro. Off of relating me to another guy that worked hard that became a pro. My college coach, one thing he gave me was to do everything in moderation and I'm gonna treat you like a professional. So I challenged myself to get on YouTube and see what professionals do, how they worked, how they did. That's what made me stay in the gym. And even though I got done wrong and a lot of guys could probably testify on it, I used that professionalism to stay in the gym and work. And I took everything that he used against me or that they said I wasn't gonna never go pro, and I turned it into some of the biggest blessings of my life. And And yeah, I ain't been overseas since 2019. No, because I went to Mexico last year and I turned down the deal. But yeah, I ain't been on the overseas team in like 3 years. But I still play semi-pro and I still do damn good. And I still got some other stuff that's working in my favor. And I still was able to overcome every obstacle because of those other coaches that installed in me what work could do, and they didn't give up on me. Because when I first got to high school, I was trash. I couldn't make a layup, I couldn't make a jump shot. But coach didn't kick me out the gym. But again, he was an old time coach too. So he believed in developing everybody, giving everybody a chance. And he just believed in he go dress the best and lead the other ones over there. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you can't practice your best ones, get your other best ones. You got to practice them against other guys so they won't go too hard at each other or where to tear their body. So he kind of used us and I developed. But some of y'all don't think that way. Y'all be so ready to kick a lot of players out where y'all really could use them at times in scenarios and other things. And some of them kids would really thank you for keeping them in the gym. 'Cause I know a couple guys that could have been game banging and could have died with some of the people that I know. But coach kept them in the gym and it saved them. And after practice, we got text messages. So and so just got shot. And that was some of them guys' best friend. Or so and so mama got in the car wreck. Where if they wouldn't have been at practice, they could have been them. But y'all coaches don't think like that. Y'all just think, oh, it's my way or the highway. Where you ain't trying to break down and look into what a child going through or how they fight insecurity or confidence. So then we got another situation. I was talking to somebody else, and it was brought to me like the coach didn't tell me I wasn't on the team no more. The coach didn't tell me this, and that. They just said, "Did you get the memo?" Like they sent somebody else to tell me. You as a coach should tell a player if they not on the team or what happened or what they didn't do so they could go work on it or try better the next time. You don't go send no another player or no another coach if you the head coach or whatever to do it. You make sure if you didn't want them there, you let them know why and why not. And if you close to the family or somebody else, you for sure could have let the family or somebody else know. Like that means if you couldn't let the family or somebody else know, you couldn't let the player know really, that means you not meant to be a coach because a coach go stand up with whatever they say and stand 10 toes down on however they got to say it. And if you really told the person like you should, you ain't gonna be hesitant on trying to be behind the bush. That means you really was on some other stuff, or you ain't really trying to be a coach, or you really ain't got that confidence as a coach, or you really don't know what being a coach is. So as a coach, everybody not gonna be great. Everybody not gonna show the same effort as another person. Y'all can't expect everybody to do what some of your past better people did or other stuff because the generation changed and certain players and certain styles changed too. You have to look into what some of these other people good. Just like y'all give everybody a role. Sometimes you gotta look at the role that you trying to play in these people's lives as a coach. Like I'm really talking calm, but I'm really so heated in the inside because if you ask me like what I want to be growing up, I always said a coach because I always knew I changed and affected kids' lives. Even at the elementary I'm at, like a couple staff members walked up to me and asked me why you get to wear t-shirts and jogging pants or why you don't have to do this and that. And then the crazy part was that they was women. And I wanted to say, why are you worrying about me? For example, I am a coach. I might not have the coach role because we only have one coach, but I am a coach and I am a professional athlete. And and the way I dress is how the kids when they walk outside this school and walk 2 blocks down, that's who they see. Somebody dressed like me, but they don't have the credentials or the background I had to overcome poverty in the lifestyle to become who I am. So the way I'm dressing is to show them that you could dress like me and still be able to get a college degree. Where you go 2 blocks down, somebody dressed like me. That's all they see, and they think that's the cool way. Where I'm showing them the better way, better days. But you as a woman come to me saying you want to dress like this, but how many women you go see dressed like this in the field or in the profession to show them that's how they supposed to be dressed? But I didn't tell them that. I just said I'm a coach, and I do dress up. Like I didn't even say nothing smart, but at the end of the day, as a coach, you have to look at what you're doing to affect the kids, and I affect them because I make sure I let them know they got to do their work. They got to do better than what their parents are doing. My goal and motto is I always do better than what my parents doing, and I want my daughter to do better than what I did, and I want my siblings to do better than what I did. If you could aim to do better than what your parents doing, you gonna aim even higher. And I'm not here to downgrade nobody parents or nothing, but that's just how you gotta look at it. And if some of y'all feel like y'all parents ain't doing enough or not a lot, pick a coach, pick a mentor, pick a teacher, and you aim to do better than what they doing. Cause I always say I was gonna be a more winning coach than my high school coach. I always say I was gonna do more than my parents, and I was gonna find a way to affect me more than how my parents affected me. I was gonna do dream. At the end of the day, that's just how it gotta be. But y'all as coaches gotta put that into every player that come across you, no matter if they good enough to make your team or not. You really don't know how you affecting that child because some of these children y'all could put in a depression state and now they don't even want to do nothing no more because the way I talked to them, the way I didn't give them opportunities or didn't meet them halfway or didn't try to meet them because they weren't on the same level as the others on your team. Where at the end of the day, you was that same person in the classroom or on the team where you was behind and you wanted to coach. Coach had to meet you somewhere, but you want to impact lives. Coaches is supposed to impact lives, and not just on the athlete part. Yes, we're supposed to make sure we put extra hours in on the weekend if we have to. You stay extra longer, practices sometimes. We might even have to donate shoes and clothes. We might even have to go pick children up. We might even have to find sponsors, take them to church. You got to do whatever you got to do as a coach to impact a lot of these kids' lives. But if you're doing the bare minimum, how's you impact it? If you only want to do for the ones that you feel can help your program win, then you failing as a coach because you showing them that they are more important than the next person, and that is not true. Everybody contribute to this world, and that's why we have a lot of hatred in our community now because we don't show mutual love and commitment. I go on and on. Today Tuesday, and the topic is coaches and their impact. So if you're a coach, if you want to be a coach, if you was a coach, think about that. Don't just go after the top dogs, the ones that you feel could help you. Because sometimes that one that you feel like ain't good enough to be on your team now, you damn sure can lead or use later on for something. Or you might need later on in life where you older and now you working for them. Or they your nurse or something like that. And they could bring up how you treat them and they could just leave you there with a pamper on when you old. Anything. You never know. So if I don't do nothing else as a coach, I make sure I hold everybody accountable when it comes to sprints. I make sure I let them all know I'm gonna be hard on. I make sure I know number one, I love defense because I made it through a lot with defense and playing the role. Before I even knew how to put the ball in the hole, it was defense and running hard and playing the role. And I held everybody accountable the same way, start or not. Because at the end of the day, I make sure my semi-pro coaches and coach hold me accountable the same way as nobody else. I love when they say my name. I love when they fuss at me. Because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna go 110. I'm still gonna do more than what anybody else on the team would do, and I'm sacrificing my body more than anybody else. And when they sleep, I'm in the gym. And probably at night and in the morning. But that's all I gotta say. And and it's no knock. I ain't throwing no shade to nobody. But I know a lot of y'all gonna feel guilty because y'all have been coaches that have done that. And you can message me, call me, we could talk about it or whatever. But you as a coach, you gotta do better. Because it's a lot of times where you ain't gonna have a good team and you got to put that work in and develop some folks. And you got to put them extra time and hours in because you signed up for that sniping or the extra check. And if you didn't know what come with it, you know what come with it now. And if you don't want it, get a job up and find somebody that do. Don't be trying to just be a coach to get that extra money because you messing up a lot of kids' lives. And then when you hear people talking about why these kids doing this, and that, you part of the reason. Because as a coach, you didn't do what you should have. Again, stay blessed, better days. Long live everybody that I lost. I'm rocking one of my brothers today. You know what's going on. Better days the motto. Live by. Get y'all some gear. Stay tuned the next Tuesday because I have another good one for y'all.